led such an interesting life. I could talk to you all day long and not repeat myself. Every morning, I put in an hour of exercising. I built my own airplane and flew it. I have been to the North Pole, to Antarctica. I didn't retire from my job until I was 87. We were so poor, even though I had good marks in school, I couldn't go to college, didn't have the money. So I enlisted in the school's technical training, and I'll take up auto mechanics. And I got into auto mechanics. Finally, in my senior year, the instructor said, "I want to talk to your mother." I said, "All right, he wants to continue. I want him in a machine shop." And I thought, oh, geez, machine shop. In those days, they were all driven by a great big line of pulleys, and the machines didn't have a motor in them. And you went into that thing, and there's pulleys all over hell and everything. Well, okay. But then I graduated, and I thought, well, I'm going to go and get a job now, and I'm just going to work harder than the other kids, and I'll work longer, and I'll be successful. But the instructor said, "Look, I want to talk to your mother. You should go to Dunwoody." Do you know where Dunwoody is? Mm-hmm. So, sure enough, I went to Dunwoody. I was it's an a year and a half course in machine shop. But I took a little tool making in there too. And by golly, I got through. And while I was there, I get a telephone call. They needed help at Smith Welding. And that's when World War II started. Mm-hmm. I kept working with there a while, but then there was an opening for toolmaker. Now I can use because I was working just on screw machines and stuff like that. And we were starting building stuff for the government. And they started getting bigger. They moved to a different plant. I became a full-time tool and die maker, building tools, stamping tools for Honeywell and that kind of thing. When it came along, the government started saying, "Come on down, you're going to go in the service." I went down to Fort Snelling, went through all their stuff, but my boss said, "No, we need you." Sure enough, that's the case. I got deferred. They needed tool makers to make these tools to keep the war going.
How old were you when World War II broke out?
Well, I was about, the war started in 41, so I was born in 20, so I was 21, 22. And one thing led to another, and pretty soon, after a couple of years of that, in my whole neighborhood, I was the only boy. And of course, all these women would go after my mother. "How come our kids are there? How come he can't? What's the matter with him? And why don't he do that?" And eventually I thought, to hell with that, Mom. I'm going to go ahead and I'll enlist.
What did your boss say?
He was pissed. I went downtown, and I looked at my brother. One brother was in the Army, another brother was in the Navy. I thought, darn it, I'm going to try if I get into naval aviation. So I went downtown, went up to about 4th floor, one of the skyscrapers there. I sat for a long time waiting. And I think they were doing that on purpose, and waiting and waiting and seeing if I just No, I'm German. And finally he came up and he interviewed me. Want to know how much, what I did with the money that I made? Why I wasn't in the service? And what nationality was your father? German? Oh boy. And right away, how much money do you buy bonds with? Government bonds with your money. And it really gave me the business. And finally, he says, it's lunchtime, I'm gonna go. If you want to wait, it's okay. I was a German. I waited for him. He came back after an hour. Still here, huh? Well, come on over here. Gave me a stack of tests. Take these and go over see that guy over there. And I started filling out all of their stuff. I was a high school grad, and I was Dunwoody grad. And apparently I busted their course. Because the guy says, geez, we've never seen anything like this before. And I got in. And I was competing against college grads. And there 32 of us started in the Naval Aviation program.
So that was an exclusive, it was hard to get into that?
Oh yes, only college grads and the kids that graduated out of the high school that had excellent marks.
Okay.
Because naval aviators had to have a lot more depth because they would be flying airplanes over the ocean. Nothing. We had to go by navigating by the stars. Went to Iowa pre-flight, and there that was all physical. We played football. I had my bottom teeth smashed out because I was playing football against professional football players. And boy, it was brutal, I'll tell you. Because we had boxing matches and all that. We had to swim, we had to go into the pool and keep floating for just in our clothes like this for 3 hours. A lot of the guys, all the muscles, they'd sink. I kept on going through. In those 20 months, I never went out with a girl once. When I got my wings, 32 started. How many got their wings? 8. That's how tough the Navy was. And I had, eventually they made an instructor out of me because I was older than the other kids and I went through without a demerit, which is rather, because while the other guys on Sundays or Saturday nights, they'd go, we were always in university towns, you know, they'd find the university gals. A lot of them, you know what happened to a lot of them. And they had special toilets for them. And if they had, when they came back in, they say, yeah, I was with this gal. Yeah, I did. Okay, you use that toilet over there. And they give them special shots to keep from getting disease.
What kind of girls were these?
Fine. Well, college girls. Well, they were enamored by this guy in this uniform. We're dressed like officers, you know. So consequently, the Navy wasn't going to take this guy they put so much money into and knowing human beings. Who does that remind you of? Clinton, a Rhodes Scholar. But they made an instructor out of me. I went...
and what year was this?
What?
What year was this?
In 45.
So was the war over?
45. No, the war wasn't over. It was still going. And they sent me to Georgia, where I went through instrument flight instructing on special planes. I got my wings flying these great big flying boats, the PBY Catalinas. In our training, we'd even go out to the Gulf of Mexico, and we'd have sailors back with 100-pound bombs in case we saw German coming, a submarine coming up, we'd fly over, drop the bomb on 'em. We didn't see any, but we had that.
So how long were you training?
Not that long. Well, from about 4 or 5 months, and then the war went over. And then I stayed until December of 45, and then got out.
Went back to Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Back to machine work?
Exactly.
Okay.
Back in the same place.